Howdy traders, and welcome to the Sunday Open. We're going to be talking about the strength of the dollar. We're going to talk about the strength of the JPY, but also we're going to talk about the strength of Bitcoin and how does that affect your trading decisions this week. I'll see you right after this. Alrighty traders, well, welcome to Sunday Open. In Sunday Open, we always go ahead and review the market based on what we saw last week in the trading week. What happened last week in the trading week? We noticed that we did see some dollar weakness. In fact, we got some good confirmation. In fact, we saw dollar showing us a big bearish candle at the close of Friday's session. And with that, our focus this week is how can we take advantage of dollar weakness this week? Which are the pairs that we should be paying attention to, and also what we can expect from that. Also, if you hold on to the end of the video, I'm also going to be talking about Bitcoin and how Bitcoin's hitting a certain level that we need to be concerned about. Because if we don't see a break of those levels, there's something that we need to do. We'll talk about that when we get to Bitcoin. Now, before we get started, don't want to forget, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and do that right now. But also, smash the like button. I'd like to go ahead and send this video out to as many people as I can. The only way to do that is to beat the Google algorithm, and that is smashing the like button. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much for doing that. Now, quickly, regarding the trading session this week, we're going to be focusing on the dollar weakness, but also there's a little bit of a kicker right here, and that is JPY. What's going on with the JPY? Well, with dollar weakness, there may be an opportunity that JPY is going to strengthen. That gives us more opportunity to be able to trade New Zealand JPY, CAD JPY, US dollar JPY. Are you kidding me? US dollar JPY is probably one of the better pairs to trade because if you've got dollar weakness and you've got JPY strength, then we've got a perfect scenario, perfect storm, right? Where US dollar is going to dip and JPY is going to strengthen, giving us the best opportunity. But we'll take a look at the technicals and see if the time is right now good to go ahead and trade. Let's jump into the charts and take a look and see what's going on. Okay, so here we go. First thing we want to go ahead and start with is not Bitcoin. We're going to go into the currencies, right? And I want to go into Euro US dollar first. Now, before I get to US dollar, let's go ahead and confirm dollar index. Bearish setup right here. As you can see, take a look here. We had a beautiful bearish setup right here on dollar index. This was at the close on Friday. And so, could we expect a short-term rally before the market continues to move back down south? Absolutely. All right, there's no doubt in my mind that this could be an opportunity for us to go ahead and look at as a short-term correction in the dollar. So this is so important right now. So important for traders to understand this. Even though we're expecting a bearish move on the dollar this week, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen on today, Sunday, or Monday, or even Tuesday, because we may actually see some sort of rally in the dollar over the next couple of days as it builds up into a sell position. So we've got to be real careful, and we're going to look at the technicals on the other chart to make sure that this lines up as well. So very important that we understand something, but we also go ahead and verify it in the technicals. We want to make sure it lines up. So let's go back to the chart right here. Now, if I look over here on the chart, we're seeing that we had that big bearish candle. So yes, we do expect that there could be a retracement move. All right, there could be an upside rally before the market moves back down. So let's jump into some of the pairs that are traded against, or some of the currencies that are traded against the dollar. And I'm going to go into pound US dollar right here. Now, pound US dollar opened up nicely here. You can see a beautiful bullish candle that formed on Friday. Remember, this is the daily candle. And so as I go down to the lower time frame, we're going to go ahead and take a look and see if the opportunity is presenting itself right now. So I'm going to go to the 1 hour time frame right here. And I noticed that we've got a very low spot right here that I'm going to go ahead and start working my fibs up. So I'm going to go ahead and work my fibs up, and I'm going to go ahead and place it right here on the top so I can find where the retracement is going to be. Now, I can get real technical right here and start putting some trend lines down here, but it's not going to help me too much because we did take out the low. Let's go ahead and put a trend line in here. And let's see if this is going to help us a little bit right here. I don't think it's going to help us too much. It's going to help us a bit. Take a look right here. Okay, so as I connect the trend line coming down right here, connect the highs, we notice that we did have a retest early in this week already. Look over here, we had a pullback, market came back to the 2-3 right here, tested it, and I probably want to see a little bit of a deeper retracement because of the dollar index already showing that there's a possibility maybe some strength in the dollar index. I do want to get it a little bit lower. I want to buy the pound US dollar a little bit lower, so I am going to look for the market to at least come back down to a 382 retracement right here. So when it comes to the 382 bounce, we'll go ahead and check out and see if there's an opportunity. Now, very importantly, I know that everyone's coming here to watching this video and they have different types of strategies that they trade. But the one thing that should not change is our long-term overview of the market, right? We all should see if the market's either being bullish of that week or bearish of that week, but then going down to the lower time frames and initiating a strategy that is comfortable, that you've been doing for a while, that you understand, and that you want to go ahead and focus on. So I'm not telling you to change your strategy. I'm just saying our focus this week should be buying US dollar, or at least a pound US dollar, right? Buying pound US dollar, but waiting for the dips, waiting for the market to get down to a retracement, and then buying on the dips going up. Now, I could use a whole bunch of things. We can use divergence. We can use overbought, in this case, oversold conditions. We can use a whole bunch of that stuff and then go ahead and implement trades on the way up. You can also use trend lines. And when the market comes down to a support level, then look for a counter trend line to trade it back up north. Something like this. Let me show you what I'm saying. So if I look over here, then what you're going to do here is you're going to go ahead and draw in a 45-degree angle trend line. This is called a counter trend line. And if price continues to move down, okay, then you just continue to follow the market until we see a break. Now, the first thing I would want to see is the market come down to the 382 bounce. When it comes to the 382 bounce, then breaks the trend line going up, I want to go then and start buying it on the break and look for price to move all the way up to my 1.6 rate, which is all the way up here to the top. So I've got a price here, and that price is marked off at 1.3925. So this is going to be my target for this week. My target this week is going to be, write it down. If you write down things, write this down. My target this week is going to be 1.3925. That's going to be my target to the upside on the pound US dollar. Now, how you get in is up to you. But I'm going to be waiting for the market to get down to at least the 382 bounce. Now, what level is that? That level is at 138.34. So let's write it down. 138.43, my bad. So 138.43 is going to be the 382 bounce. Now, let's go ahead and measure out what type of opportunity is this, right? Because what's important that everyone should understand is, when you're getting in on a trade, you have to have good risk-reward ratios. And so if we look over here, we have a good risk-reward ratios right here, where we're looking for a long position right here, and we want to enter at the 382 bounce right here. Once it gets down to 382 bounce. So we want to enter the 382 bounce, and we want to target this level up here. Let me go ahead and drag this up here. And let's pull it right here. 1 second here. So I'm going to get in on this right about here. Let's draw that stop loss. Pull that stop loss a little bit down. All right, and then the stop loss is going to be a little bit further down here. Let me delete that. Start a new one, yeah. Okay, here we go. So this is where our entry point is going to be. Now, stop loss might just be a little bit tighter than that. Now, specifically, if you're looking at your target, and your target is going to be all the way up here at the 1.618. We're looking at, from our entry point here, we're looking at a risk-reward ratio. If we had a, let's see here, if we had a stop loss of about, let's see here, if we put it at the, if I put it over here at the 8.6 of the swing, I've got about a 38 pip stop loss. And my target to the upside is going to be chasing after about 83 pips. So if you look at the risk-reward ratio right here, the risk-reward ratio is around about 1 to 2, which means whatever I'm risking, I'm getting 2 times the money back on that, right? So it's just a little bit more than that. So my risk-reward ratio is good. So if I could look at this as my trade opportunity and say, hey, you know what? If I can go ahead and place in a a stop loss of about 40 pips, but chase after about 80 pips, I've got a good risk-reward ratio on this trade. And that's what I'm looking for right here. I want to have a good risk-reward ratio on this. So this is going to be my game plan on the pound US dollar. Pound US dollar, I want price to get down to at least the 382 bounce. I'm not saying I'm going to enter at the 382 bounce, but at least to the 382 bounce. Then, when it hits the 382 bounce, that's when I'm going to start getting excited about buying on the pound US dollar. And whatever strategy you are trading, look for your signals once we hit the 382 bounce, because from that point, we should start thinking bullish at that point. Right now, I'm still on the sideline waiting for that correction move, and then when we hit the 382 bounce, we'll take advantage of that. Now, let's jump into another currency pair. Let's take a look at another. Okay? So if we go into another one here, let's go into the Euro US dollar. Euro US dollar, 1 hour time frame. Same concept, all right? Same concept. What I want to do, I want to buy Euro US dollar, but I want to wait for the correction move. Now, if I look over here on this chart right now, I'm looking at, let me go ahead and delete that. I'm looking at a retracement move. Let's go ahead and pull that in. So I'm going to put it in fibs right here. And I'm going to look at the market retracing to at least the 382 bounce. Why am I doing that? Why do I want at least the 382 bounce? The reason why I want at least the 382 bounce is so that I can get it in at the deepest retracement move, so I can start looking for bigger upside potential. And the reason why I'm looking for the 382, at least the 382 bounce right here, is because a couple of things here. If you understand Elliott wave, then you'll understand that, and let me see if I've got the Elliott wave sequence right here that I can go ahead and plot in. Yes, I do. If you understand Elliott wave right here, then this is a wave 1. This is a wave 2 right here. This is a, oops, sorry, my bad. This is a wave 1 right here. This is a wave 2 right here. This up here is a wave 3. Now, or what I'm looking for is a wave 4. Now, wave 4 can go and hit the wave 1 and then go up to the wave 5, which is here. So this is going to be my wave structure right here. Right now, I'm going to be looking for price to come back. If it gets to the 382 bounce, I'm going to get ready to rock and roll. But what I need to understand is, where's my profit potential? My profit potential on this is going to be, if I get in a 382 bounce right here, my profit potential on this is always going to be, okay, I'm going to have my stop loss below the wave 1. I always want to place it below the wave 1, which means that the 86 is a good place to go ahead and put it. Now, if I get in at the 382 bounce, and I'm looking for taking profit here at the 1.27, look at my profit potential. It's 1.38. So which means, traders, that my risk-reward ratio is not that great if I just place my stop loss based on a 382 entry and an 86 retracement. But if I can get in deeper, if I can allow the market to return back a little bit deeper right here, I'm increasing my risk-reward ratio. Look at my risk-reward ratio. It's gone up to 2.6 now by entering here just at the wave 1 high. So right here, if I entered the wave 1 high, I can get a little bit more out of that. Now, we're not going to talk about strategy in this session, but I am going to bring to you next week. So I want you to go ahead and make sure that you subscribe to the channel, because next week I'm actually going to go ahead and talk about a strategy that I'm going to implement on the lower time frame. Right now, I just want to get you guys a good feel of what I'm looking at from a larger perspective, right? What the bigger picture looks like. And then going down to the 1 hour, we're also looking at it more like a high-level view, right? We're not digging into the details with actual strategy, because I'm leaving that open to you to make a decision on what strategy you want to follow. But I'll go ahead and share with you next week what I'm going to be doing based on strategies, all right? So right now, this is what I'm looking at. I'm looking for the market to go ahead and retrace. And when we see this retracement move, I'm then going to make a decision to go ahead and buy in. So US dollar, or at least Euro US dollar, I'm looking for a correction move, and then I want to go ahead and look for the rally. Now, the reason why I said 382 bounce, watch from the 382 bounce, because this is a fourth wave. And with a fourth wave, we can expect the market to come back on a shallow retracement, which means that we could even go and bounce off this 127 right here. All right, or this is 23%, the 23%. So the market could bounce off the 23% right here and head off towards that target. If that happens and I see price going all the way up here, I would probably be on the sideline. I wouldn't play around with this pair at all, until I see a deeper correction move, and then I'll jump in on this. So I want to see at least a 382 bounce. It then creates opportunity for me to be able to trade it to the 127. Now, if I don't get that 382 bounce and goes to the 127 first, then I'm going to be off and not trading the euro this week and looking for a deeper correction move in the following week. And maybe only 2 weeks from now, I'll trade the euro US dollar. Okay? All right. Let's go ahead and move to the next currency pair. So this is where we're at on this pair. I'm going to go into one more pair, and that is one more US-based pair, and that is on the US dollar Canadian. All right, here's the US dollar Canadian. Same concept. All right, I'm going to go ahead and draw a trend line in, but let's go to the daily first. All right, let's first pop over the daily here. Take a quick look at the daily. So if the daily, if we look at the daily right here, and I go ahead and put some trend lines on this, and I'm going to go ahead and sneak a trend line right there from the top, bring it down here. All right, what are we seeing right now? What we're seeing right now is that price has broken through this downward trend line, and automatically you'd be thinking, okay, good, dollar strength, right? The first thing you're thinking is dollar strength. But what you're forgetting about is that even though the market broke through this trend line on the right, it's broken to the right side of the trend line, we still could see a deeper correction move, because now that we've had that rally, now the market's going to correct itself, which means again dollar weakness. Let me show you what it looks like here on the chart. Okay, so if we look over here, I'm going to start off by going a little bit deeper here, and I'm going to draw in our fibs from the bottom right here, and I'm going to go all the way up to this high right here, right up here. Now, with the market going up to that high, let's take a look right here. We got another low to high move from here to here. Okay, there it is. Now, if I look over here, man, if I look over here, I'm just spotting something here. Let me see something here. Oh, I'm seeing this big consolidation here too. Seeing support down here. Let me go ahead and draw a line in here so we can get it marked off as well. And I'm going to put a horizontal line here. We've got a nice little resistance here. All right, there it is there. The resistance is all the way up here at the top. So let's move it all the way up here at the top. There's the resistance. So we got resistance up here at the top, and we got support down here. There it is there. And now if I go to the, let's go to the top right here. Let's pop that in. And so we got resistance up here. Okay, there it is. Let's change the color to red. And do that one there and just change that to red too. Alright, so we got resistance up at the top here. And we got support down here. So we do have quite a bit of consolidation. So when I look at this right here, and we've come off the support, you would think that overall we want to go bullish, right? So let me see here. This is interesting. This is actually a very interesting setup right here, which means that I may be thinking that there is a possibility that we may actually have dollar weakness, but also Canadian weakness due to US oil dropping. There's a very good chance that we're expecting the US oil to drop. So this wouldn't be my favorite pair to trade, because I'm looking at two weak moves on US dollar and the Canadian dollar right here. And so if that's going to be the case, then I would not want to pay attention to US dollar CAD this week. All right, US dollar CAD right now is a little iffy, so I'm going to go ahead and say no to US dollar CAD this week. All right, I'm going to stand aside on the US dollar CAD, not going to trade that unless I'm doing something scalpy and scalp in the market, because I think it's going to be pretty range bound. I think we're going to see both of the both pairs fighting for control, and both currencies fighting for control. So we're not going to really see a good move on that. I'm going to stand aside on US dollar CAD. Now that's of course unless I have a big fundamental coming out this week that could change the directional bias. So let's take a look at the news quickly, and let's see here. So we're going to go to the news this week, and on the news, if I go to the calendar this week, you can take a look right here. We have some US dollar data. We got the Fed speaking right here. We got the New Zealand cash rate coming out this week. Ooh, that's good. Look at that. They're looking to raise the rates. That's interesting. Wow. So New Zealand JPY might be an interesting look, as well as New Zealand US dollar. That might be interesting, because they're going to raise the rates. We may see the New Zealand dollar rally, and that means New Zealand US dollar might be a good setup as well. So that's actually going to be great. Now that's going to happen. Take a look at the time. 10 p.m. on Tuesday. Man, maybe that's going to be a good session to go live just before the 10 o'clock news. So we can go ahead and check that out. I might just do that. Watch out for my YouTube channel. I might be going ahead and post a live session just before 10 p.m. on Tuesday evening to check that out. I think it's going to be interesting. Check it out. Now, if we go to the rest of the week, I'm seeing unemployment here coming out for the for Australia, and then I see a bit of Canadian data right here, CPI monthly data, not a big deal, all right, but that's about it. So the big news this week is New Zealand rate decision. That's coming out at 10 p.m. That's going to be huge, my friend. Jobs for the Aussies, that's also going to be important because we have seen some downside move, and we are anticipating some negative news for the employment change for the Aussies, and that's on Wednesday at 9:30. Man, looks like a midweek turnaround for us right there. Now, I'm real interested by looking at this data right here. I'm moving away from that US dollar CAD, and I want to go ahead and actually take a look at New Zealand US dollar, but also I'd like to take a look at the New Zealand JPY. Two interesting setups right here. Let's go take a look and see what we've got here. Now, firstly, number one, right off the bat, you can see here, although we have maybe some long-term, and I'm going to go ahead and put it out there as well, long-term resistance right here and support. We've got both resistance and support here. Let me just go ahead and get a more thicker line put in here. Okay, that's good. So we've got a bit of resistance coming off, support coming off that level. And then we do have another level right here, and I'm going to put it over here. So this I'm going to mark off over here. I'm going to mark this off on my chart, and that's going to be marked off as resistance right here. And then I'm going to mark off with a bit of support right here. So we've got support coming off that, and we've got resistance coming off that right here. So we've got nice support, nice resistance. Now the most important thing right here is this range is huge, but we also have an opportunity. I mean, how big is the range here? Let's take a look here. We've got that's what, 367 pips. All right, call it 370 pips. Yeah, 370 pips. So 370 pip move right here from there to there. Now here is another interesting level here, and I'm going to go ahead and mark that off with just a little razor here, and it's about here. This is important right there, because that tells me that we have another level of resistance. If we trade above that, then that means that price can move another. Look here, look at that. We can move up another. Looks like, oh, sorry, my bad. I just cut it off there again. We can move. Price can move up about. Looks like 243 pips. So we can see another 243 pip move if it breaks that level of resistance. Okay, so that's interesting. So do I want to trade the New Zealand US dollar right now? Absolutely not. I certainly don't want to trade it because we're at this resistance right here. So I would want to buy New Zealand US dollar, but not at resistance. I only want to buy it above it, or I want to buy it at the support right here. So New Zealand, I need you to watch the New Zealand US dollar this week. And remember, don't forget, Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's going to move because we're going to have a rate decision, and they're going to raise the rates up 25 basis points. That's going to create some strength in the New Zealand dollar. So if that's going to be the case, then I would want to wait for support right here to buy that support. But we're going to have to wait and see. Okay, very important. We're going to have to wait and see. Now, let's go ahead and say, all right, so this is an opportunity. New Zealand US dollar is an opportunity this week. We're going to watch it specifically on Tuesday. We're not going to make any sort of rash decision on this particular pair until Tuesday, 10 o'clock. Then we're going to wait for it to break through these levels of resistance before we go ahead and buy back on support levels. All right, so that's going to be important right there. Now, let's take a look and see what else is there. JPY, New Zealand JPY, I think it's also going to be a great pair to trade because we've seen a bit of strength in JPY, but now there's a New Zealand strength that's coming out on, possibly coming out on Tuesday. So if I look at this New Zealand JPY, it was a good setup. I mean, I was really excited about the New Zealand JPY. Let me go take a look right here. I'm going to draw a trend line, and I'm going to draw it from the bottom right here. I'm going to go ahead and mark it all the way up here. So that's what the trend line will look like here. So we're definitely starting to move to the right side of the trend line, which is good. It tells us that the trend is changing. Now, if I go ahead and draw in some short-term trends right here, let's go ahead and do that from the top here and work our way down. And I'm just connecting the highs for right now. And that's what it's going to look like right here. Let's actually create, you know what, let's do a channel on this. I love my channel, so I'm going to place a channel on this. And there we go. And I'm going to go ahead and place a channel from the top there, going down. And that's what my channel looks like right here. So this is giving me opportunity. So when I look at this right here, the first thing I want to do is I want to put in my fibs in here. Because I know and I love elite wave structure. And so this is going to be a wave 1 from there to there. And I'm going to go even mark that off so everyone can see exactly what that looks like, right? This is going to be like from here to down here. This is going to be my wave 1. This is going to be my wave 2. So now I'm looking for price to come down to wave 3 right here. Then probably go ahead and retest wave 4. And then go down to wave 5. Okay? So this is how we're going to look. This is how we anticipate the market move. Now, if this is the case, and we've completed the wave 2 right here, or at least we found the high point right here, I'm going to mark that off as well. And I'm going to go ahead and let's use a trend line. And I'm going to horizontal line. Sorry, I'm going to place the horizontal line right here. So we can see that 78.77 is a good level of resistance right here. This is where we want to make sure that if we're going to be doing anything with regards to stop losses, the best place would be right about here. I want to go ahead and sell right about there. Okay, so let's do that. And move it up here and change that to red. And so now we know where we want to go ahead and move. So I want to move that back up here. Let's just shift that over there. Okay, good. All right. So now that we've got this set up right here, okay, now we can go ahead and pay attention to what's going on right here. Now, we see a nice little bearish candle in last week's trading. Nice little bearish candle. We see the market moving down south. New Zealand JPY seems a perfect place to go ahead and look to sell. But remember, the news coming out on Sunday is telling us a little bit different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually bring this down to a 1 hour time frame. Okay? And on the 1 hour time frame, I want to pay attention to what we're seeing in the short term. So like here, here's a beautiful example of what we should be paying attention to. So draw in trend lines going across on the 1 hour. So take a trend line, draw it up from the low, put it up. You can actually do a channel if you want to do channel, or you can just go ahead and do this. Okay, so we got a trend line here. All right, and then we have an inside trend line that's going to be drawn from that low, and it's going to be drawn across here. All right, so let's put that trend line in here. Okay, perfect. All right, now what's important right here is that we have to understand is that the market's going to move in waves, and if we're going to find anything worth trading, then it's going to have to be better than something like this. Let's go do this. Let's put in a fib level from the top here. And I'm going to go all the way down to this point. Okay. Now, the reason why I've done that, let me show you why I've done that. So this is what I'm looking for right here. If price moves down to the 1.618 right here, it's going to bounce off this trend line, which means we're going to see the market retrace. So come Tuesday, if by Tuesday we're down here, then I'm going to wait for the news to come out, and if the news is going to be positive for the New Zealand dollar, we're probably going to see a rally. So we're going to see something like this. We're going to see the market drop back down here before Tuesday 10 o'clock. When the news comes out and we have a rate decision, and the rate decision says we're going to increase the rates by 25 basis points for the New Zealand dollar, then what's going to possibly happen is, based on my technicals and based on what I'm anticipating the news to do, we're going to start seeing the market rally back up. Now, if it does rally back up, I'll be watching this level very, very closely right here. If we trade back above that level, this is going to be my key support level right here. If we trade it back there, then I might want to look to start buying New Zealand JPY just because of the strength of the New Zealand dollar. Nothing more, nothing less. So right now, the way the New Zealand JPY is sitting right now, it says stand aside. Let's wait and see what happens on on Tuesday at 10 p.m. And if Tuesday at 10 p.m. we're down here, I'm going to go ahead and do nothing. All right? because I'm expecting a rally, maybe some short-term rally that we could possibly take advantage of. We could do some scalping to do some short-term rally. There might be an opportunity for us to buy down the year and wait for price to come up to this resistance here. And if it breaks that and breaks that resistance, we're off to the races on this one. All right, and we could possibly hold on to this a little bit longer. All right, but right now, if we do see price stalling here where it's at right now and coming back above this level, so if price does this and starts coming back above this level right here, then I'm thinking two things. Are we going to see the market drop back down? Is the New Zealand dollar not really going to strengthen the way I'm anticipating? Or are we going to start breaking above that high? Because that's the only place I'll start buying above, if price breaks above that. So right now for the New Zealand JPY, probably going to be on the sideline and to see what goes down with this particular pair right here. So we're going to put this on the sideline. We're not going to do anything. But it's real interesting, I must admit. It's a real interesting setup. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and take a look and see what else we've got. CAD JPY. The Canadian JPY. This is another one that we want to go ahead and pay a little more attention to. Canadian JPY. Check it out. Go to the daily time frame first. And here is the daily right here. Same setup right here. Dropped up that trend line. Trend lines are not going to help us too much on this one, actually. In fact, if you look over here, nope. You know what's really going to help us on this particular pair? Is going to be support and resistance. All right, so let's do that. Let's go ahead and put in a resistance level right here, and we're going to put our support level down here. Okay, so now what do we have? We've got price in a range, and we've seen resistance here, and then we've seen support down here. Let's go ahead and change that up. So we're going to go with support down here and support right here. So we've got support and we've got resistance. All right, perfect. Now, with the market inside this consolidation, the first thing I look for right here when we're inside consolidation is, where did we come off last? Did we come off resistance or did we come off support? In this case now we came off resistance. So when the market comes off resistance, we're anticipating, when the market's in consolidation, we're anticipating market to go back to support again. All right. Unless it breaks that resistance, we're now looking for the next move to go back down to support. So we're going to go check it out for a downside. We're going to look for the market to move down to the support level in wave structure or wave swing. So let's go back to the chart. So if we look over here, let's look at the way it's set up right here. Now, did we take out that low? Yes, we did. Pretty much, right? So we've got a little crown right here as well. That's something you pay attention to. Check this out. We've got a nice little crown. Price comes up here, goes down there, creates it low. Oops, hold on, that was too steep. Let's try that again. All right, so we've got price doing this. We've got price going up, come down here, then it rallied up here. Now it's come all the way down here, taking out the low right here, or even tested it, and now come back up here to what we call our right-left confirmation. This is the left tip right here. This is the right tip of the crown. And so with the crown showing us a right tip here, we're expecting market to be bearish. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to go ahead and look at the fibs inside here to see how far we can anticipate price to move. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my fibs here in between. And let's do this. Let's see here. If I go ahead and put my fibs from the top here and work it all the way down to this point right here. Does the market hit the 1.68? And the answer is yes. Then I'm going to take from this point, and I'm going to go from that point, and I'll mark it off. What's nice about this as well, what's really nice about this, notice how the market's confirmed a good level of support right here. Let me see if I can put in, let's do this. Let me put in, no, it's not giving me an option here. I was going to put in a nice little, let's see here. Okay, no. Okay, no. Okay, so what we've got right here is we have a good level. Let me just put this line here. Let me do this. ray line. I'm going to put a ray line in here. So right here, all right, actually this point right here, this is my wave 1 test. Okay, so this is my, once again, if you look over here, we got wave 1, 2, 3 down here, 4 is up here, and now we're looking for price to come down here. Now, the reason, traders, I do this is because I always want to look at my downside potential, my upside potential, downside potential, depending, of course, which direction you're trading. So I'm looking over here and saying from the 4th wave all the way down, the opportunity is, let's see here, we've got around about a 428 pip opportunity. All right, so I know that the pip opportunity is great going south right here. Now, I've just seen the market close out with a nice bearish engulfing right here. Well, actually, an evening star. Nice bearish evening star right here. And so this tells me that price is going to go down a little bit further down south. So I'm going to go down to my 1 hour. And I'm going to dig into the 1 hour because I'm really convinced about this market moving south. But I want to make sure I get in at the right place. All right, so let's do that. So right now, if I look over here, I'm probably going to have to wait for a correction move. Why is that? Well, if you look over here, you see how the market's created this this high up here. We have these lows here. Price is just taking out that low. So what I want to look for is a correction move before the dip back down. So I'm probably going to wait for the CAD JPY to create some sort of correction, something like this, and then look to go ahead and sell. You see, the traders, the problem here is if I start selling right here, to place my stop loss at the right place and to keep my stop loss out of the way of the market's movement, you know, I have to put it all the way up here at the top. And if I put it all the way up here at the top, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to have a very wide stop, all right, and my profit potential is going to be less. And so because I have less profit than I have, or at least less profit and more risk, it doesn't weigh out good. The risk-reward ratio is not going to be good. And so I want to wait for the market to correct itself. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start getting myself ready for this. And the first thing I do here is I'm going to put in my fibs going up from the bottom, from the top to the bottom right here. And I'm going to wait for that correction. And so when I get to that 38250 retracement right here, this is where I'm going to be looking to sell. This is going to be where my sell signal is going to be at. So what I want to do is here, I'll probably put a note right here. And this note is going to be wait for retracement before selling. Okay? So I'm going to put it in here, wait for retracement before selling right here. Making sure that I understand exactly what I want to do here. So I'm going to wait for retracement before selling. And the retracement is going to be probably go ahead and retest this level right here. So once it gets up to this level, that's where I want to go ahead and start selling. Okay, so I'm going to mark it off there. From that point, that's where I want to go sell. But I got to see retracement. Now, if the market moves, let's just be clear on something. If the market moves and it goes bearish and continues to go bearish, I am probably not going to do anything on this currency pair because it's better for me to let things go than try to jump on a moving bus. And that's exactly what it would be. If the bus keeps moving, just let it go, move on to something else. So the New Zealand JPY, although it seems, or sorry, the CAD JPY, although it seems a good trade setup, based on what I'm seeing on the larger time frame, I have to wait for this correction move on the 1 hour time frame before getting in on that trade, because I want to get it in. I want to get in on that trade as high as I possibly can before I go ahead and start committing myself to it, because I want to make sure that I shorten my risk, all right, reduce the risk, but expand the profit potential on that. And that's the reason why I want to wait for that trade. All right, now let's jump in to the cryptos right now. Let's go take a look and see what cryptos are doing, and specifically Bitcoin. Let me go into Bitcoin and take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is trading at a very, very significant level. And that level, as I go to the daily time frame right here, that level is right here at that previous low. Look at that, right? So we got a lot of resistance right here, all right? And I'm going to go put a note here. My note's going to be here If price trades above, all right, then stay bullish. And I'm going to stay bullish towards 60,000. Yep. Now I'm going to I'll stay bullish above 60,000. So this is important right here. If price trades, trades above, all right. If price trades above this level, all right, which is around about what level is that? 48,600. So if price trades above 6,000, I'm going to trade and stay bullish all the way up to 60,000. Now, one thing I do need to pay attention to is this level right here. Okay, this is the 1.618. The reason why I'm pointing this out is because, listen here, traders, if you understand market cycles, the market's going to go ahead and it's going to trade to a 618 retracement. Then we're going to see pullback. Then it's going to go ahead and trade to the next level, which is going to be the 127. Now, in order for me to get to this high, I actually have to see Bitcoin trade a little further past 50,900. In fact, if I can trade a lot more or a lot higher, meaning that if I can see Bitcoin trade up above that, and this then becomes the support level, so that the market does something like this and then retraces, then I'm easily going to be able to reach that 60,000 level that I'm looking for right here. But I've got to see not only for Bitcoin to break above this level, which is around about 48,600, but I've got to see it trade back above 50,900 and trade well above that. In fact, if it can get to 56,000, all right, let's call it 56,000. That's going to be a sweet spot that'll really make me confident enough to hold on to any of my altcoins, any Ethereum, altcoins. Those are the things that I will hold on to, because at the moment right now, a lot of the altcoins haven't taken its move yet, haven't really moved that quickly yet. We've seen some slight upside movement on the altcoins, but it hasn't gone ahead and moved tremendously. And I have tripled up on my positions, about 15-20% back. So I'm up in the money on those positions, and I'm looking pretty good, pretty solid on that. But the thing here is, if a Bitcoin breaks 50,900, and we get to 5,600, then it's absolutely going to be a hold, because we should get to 60,000. But not only are we going to get to 60,000, but there might be a little bit of correction move first before we push up to 60,000, which means it's for those traders that want to go ahead and start taking profit off the table once we hit 56,000, and wait for that correction to get back in again and to rebuy back in again when we get that little bit of correction. That's something that you could do. Me personally, I may just end up holding it and waiting for 60,000 to come to play. But we'll have to take a look and see how this plays out this week, specifically with dollar weakness. We're going to continue to see dollar weakness. By the end of the week, then come next weekend, we should have a good move in the cryptos, and I'm excited about that. So we'll see how that plays out for this week. All right, traders, well, that's pretty much it for us today. I want to appreciate everyone being here. Thank you very much for watching. By the way, don't forget to smash the like button. I will be updating everyone as I go through the week on these trade opportunities. Check in the description. You'll see some great information, specifically my Telegram account, where I will be sending out information on trade opportunities that I'm looking at throughout the week. So stay connected, and I'll see you in the next video. This is Epic Big Dog. Cheers.